や人間は軽薄なもんですな。生命がどんなに美しいもんかってことを死に直面した時初めて知る。しかしそれだけの人間はなかなかいませんよ。ひどいやつはもう死ぬまで人生の何たるか知らない。
Hi everyone, and welcome to Clips by Kurosawa, where we'll be watching and discussing Japanese writer and director Akira Kurosawa's 8 films featured on Letterboxd's top 250 narrative features list. The film we are discussing today is the 6th film by Kurosawa I have seen, so I invite you to watch his movies alongside me and come back to hear my thoughts. I'd love to hear yours in the comment section. On today's episode, we are discussing Ikiru. Kurosawa's Ikiru, released in 1952, is a film about a bureaucratic man who finds out he has cancer, causing him to search for the meaning of life. The man, Kanji Watanabe, befriends a young female co-worker who Watanabe is inspired by, due to the girl's youth, excitement, and positive outlook on life. This drives Watanabe to build a children's park before he passes. Ikiru is loosely inspired by Leo Tolstoy's novella, The Death of Ivan Ilyich, and is one of Kurosawa's most critically acclaimed films, having won Best Film at Kinema Junpo Awards and the Berlin International Film Festival. Ikiru is ranked number 14 on Letterboxd and one of my favorite watches by Kurosawa so far. One of the main reasons this movie is so great and touching is the performance of Takashi Shimura. We have seen him pretty much in all of the films by Kurosawa, but never in a role this prominent. Shimura does a great job of expressing the hopelessness, anxiety, and fear of Watanabe in the beginning after learning of his cancer. As Watanabe starts to accept his sickness, we see him become more hopeful and driven to make something of his life, something that Shimura portrays extremely well. I've never seen such as much sadness on an actor's face than Shimura, especially in the scene in the bar when Mr. Watanabe begins to sing. It's such a powerful scene that almost draws all the anxiety and sadness out of the viewer, mostly due to Shimura's facial expression and delivery. All of the side characters do a great job as well, but in the final act, when everyone is mourning the death of Watanabe, the side characters steal the show. When all of Watanabe's co-workers and friends come to mourn his death at the funeral, the co-workers try to figure out the sudden behavior change in Mr. Watanabe, not knowing he knew about his cancer. The performances in this scene stand out because there is an array of emotions from the co-workers after Watanabe's death. They are both sad, inspired, confused, and hopeful. They are all trying to come to terms with Watanabe's death in life, which causes them to come to terms with themselves and their actions up until that point. It's an interesting dynamic which provides for some great performances from the side characters in this film. Something else that stands out in this film is the editing, and how well it sets the pace. There's not one scene or sequence that feels too long or short. When Watanabe starts trying to discover meaning in his life and goes out to the clubs and bars, it almost feels like a montage, with the quick cuts of moments throughout the night. This editing style helps move the story along nice and smoothly. The cuts and edits to flashbacks are also super well done. In some films I've seen that use flashbacks, the timing from cutting to past and back to present can feel off, which can take an audience out of the film. In Ikiru, I never felt that, despite the timing of cuts between past and present varying. The way Kurosawa and his co-writers structured the story is very interesting. In both Rashomon and High and Low, Kurosawa jumps back in time to show the audience new context. But in Ikiru, it feels different. Towards the beginning of the film, after Watanabe finds out he has cancer, we see flashbacks of Watanabe and his son, Mitsu, providing a greater story and context to Watanabe's character. I think a moment in this film when flashbacks feel different from other films by Kurosawa is the death of Watanabe. After his death, we are shown his last months alive and the work he was doing for the community. Never in a Kurosawa film has our main character died 2/3 of the way through the film, which evokes sadness and almost a confusion in the audience. Something else that is different about this film in comparison to other Kurosawa films is the narrative structure. This movie is not driven by a plot or end goal. The audience is made aware of Watanabe's cancer from the first line, making the discovery of it anticlimactic, as well as his eventual death. In Ikiru, Watanabe is just trying to find meaning in life, and trying to live his life in the last couple months to the fullest. I found this film entertaining, mostly because I'm a big fan of films that capture life or a moment in life the audience can learn from, which is exactly what Ikiru is. This film has a ton of subtext and touches on themes of finding meaning in life, appreciation of life, self-transformation, and even the function of government. But finding the will to live and do comes through the strongest for me. When I say finding a will to live and do, I mean finding a purpose or passion, making something like Mr. Watanabe did. Only after Watanabe found out he had cancer did he search for purpose, and it shouldn't have taken Watanabe a cancer diagnosis to find his will to live. We should all already willingly want to live. But we often get stuck in our job, school, family, etc., and begin to lose this will to find our true passion and spark. Ikiru, although a tragic film, is a celebration of life and what we can accomplish when we enjoy our time here. Regardless if that's helping others or even making children's toys, find your will before it's too late. I rated this film 5 stars on Letterboxd and would recommend it to anyone. Let me know your thoughts on the themes of Ikiru in the comment section, and join me the next week where I will be discussing Kurosawa's critically acclaimed late masterpiece, Ran. Thank you.